Takes that hatchel right to the back bumper of the 32. And this has been so hard to pass down here, but Emerson going to clear Mayato. Not going to go low. He's going to try and fake the 48. Stravato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race win. Oh, hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper. He's going to have to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Stravato nearly locked it up there. St. Barrett's big slide out of turn number 1. Comes Chris Samard, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to Rockingham Speedway for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series REG Customs 200 at the Rock. Race number 4 of 20 this season. Forward to an exciting race here with the 90s throwback paint schemes going up on track. And some good looking race cars out here. We'll go through the history of most of these cars. I think most drivers have a throwback scheme on. And we'll kind of give you the rundown on the story behind these machines. So should be a fun one here. This is a great little racetrack, 1 mile in length. One of the more historic racetracks in NASCAR. They stopped coming here in, I believe it was 2003, but we are here virtually tonight, and looking forward to a great race. Joined in the booth by Zach Halpern. Zach, are you there? Zach stepped away for just a moment, but he will be back. Get things going with us. So let's take a look at some of these paint schemes here tonight in the 90s throwback, and you will be able to vote on your favorite paint scheme, and the winning driver of that vote can get a $10 prize. A little bit of something there for these guys to put some effort in and show up in a nice looking race car. But I guess to recap this event, 200 laps, 200 miles, stage break going to be at lap 75. So drivers going to have to save their stuff just a bit to make it to that point and try and earn that playoff bonus point. Take a look at some of these paint schemes in tonight's race. So we'll start off with the car showing up on the screen right now. That is going to be AJ Stravato. He is rocking the throwback to Ricky Hendrick in that oh so famous machine. A very similar paint scheme to what Kyle Larson is currently running, but throwing it back to Ricky Hendrick there in that number 33. Next one on the list here looks like it's going to be Zach Carr in his number 27. He's throwing it back to a Kenny Wallace Square D throwback, the 55 machine from back in the day. And these cars are mostly from the 90s. That is the theme for tonight's race. So a lot of cool looking cars out here, but not all of them necessarily throw back to a race car. Find good view of this machine here. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to, but we'll go to the next one. That's going to be Dallas Sullivan, the number 46. Run it back to a Jeff Green paint scheme, the first Union number 46 scheme up there. And Chris Samard, he is throwing it back to a Bill Elliott paint scheme, the old number 94 Mac Tonight, a very famous paint scheme, and a little bit of a modified version of it here tonight for Chris. Looking race car. Jeremiah Vincent, the number 9, not on the racetrack at the come back to him. But Anthony Pelican, the number 99, that's going to be an X-Side throwback to Jeff Burton. Cool looking race car as well. Very vibrant pink and blue. The X-Side and the flat black. Alex Pelican, the number 21 machine. He's throwing it back to be a Terry Labonte paint scheme. Don't believe we have an image of. James Loveland throwing it back to Shauna Robinson in the 46 Polaroid machine. Interesting one there. I hadn't seen that car before, but James back to that one. Jeremy Miller in the 30, the Scooby-Doo car. That one, there it is. Loronis in the 17, he thrown it back to a Ward Burton paint scheme, the MB&A car. Alan Dice, the 57, he's throwing it back to, that is Bobby Rahal, but it's not a NASCAR he's throwing it back to. Actually a Porsche, so definitely interesting schemes and selections out here tonight. Josiah Vincent, the 4 car, throwing it back to, it's going to be Mark Martin. And we are going to actually head back to the track now as these guys are starting up qualifying. And we'll get through some of the other schemes in the qualifying session. Zach, I'm not sure if you're back or not. But looks like we're getting things going here. Went through some of those paint schemes. What are you expecting from tonight's race? Oh, heck. There with Zach. There he is, Zach. Got me?
I am back. I am sorry about that. I was having a little bit of issues on my end.
No problem at all, but these guys just getting going in qualifying, it appears. So what are you expecting from tonight's race here at the Rock?
Rockingham's normally a really unusual race. It drives like a short track, but the racing's normally really clean here, and I don't want to jinx these drivers tonight, but we normally see these long green flag runs here, and it really plays out to strategy and who can conserve their tires very well. And we've seen people before like Zach Carr dominating so far these past couple of weeks, and he's pretty good all around at all these tracks, but maybe someone like AJ Stravato, who has been dominant before, will come out and take a win tonight. But there's many drivers here tonight, and with how unpredictable this track is, I really think we could see an unpredictable winner.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some strengths that come out at a place like Rockingham. You know, it's definitely a difficult track, and the bumpiness of it kind of lends itself to some drivers who maybe wouldn't be so great at some of the smoother race tracks, and there's a certain type of throttle and steering control that you have to have at a track like this. So it should definitely make for interesting racing. Not sure if we've had an issue currently. I'm not able to see anyone in the qualifying session. Pull up the ticker. It looks frozen for me. I don't know if the qualifying session is going or not.
Right now, I do see the qualifying is underway. Right now, we have AJ Stravato on the pole with a 22.870, and in second place is Seth Hatchell with a 22.932.
Okay, it looks like we are having a little bit of and we will quickly step away to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length of difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. The most challenging issue veterans face is reintegrating back into civilian life. This is increasingly hard with combat veterans that have witnessed the brutal environments of war. The issues they face include the sense of not having a purpose, the lack of camaraderie, and no longer being on a team. Adrenaline Therapy's mission is to bring veterans out of their element and introduce them to the fun and relaxation of the off-road. This is a way to help make these veterans feel a part of something again. This is what we call adrenaline therapy. In doing so, our goal is to help eliminate the 22-a-day epidemic of veteran suicide. Learn more by visiting outlawdesertracing.com/adrenaline therapy.
All right, and we are back at the racetrack. Looks like everything is fixed up as Ryan Gemmell is going to roll off for his second lap, but probably just to get a little bit more practice in. A few drivers still yet to qualify. Jordan Schepler in the throwback Sterling Marlin Kodak machine. Going to pull to the apron there and wrap up, or reset rather, 2 minutes left in the session, so I don't think they're able to take a time if they haven't already. But a lot of drivers in this field tonight. Looks like 40 in total. 29 have taken a time so far. And right now, AJ Servato on top of the board. Seth Hatchell, Keith Mayato, Zach Carr, Ryan Gemmell, the top 5. There are some newcomers, or rather a newcomer here tonight, in Alec Martinez, who's been very successful in the Xfinity Series here at Below the Double Yellow, and a great driver on Wednesday nights in the Virtual Racing League. So he's making his first career start in the Cup Series in this league, and expect good things from him. How about you, Zach?
I've been racing with Alec Martinez for a while now in multiple different leagues, and when he really wants to come out and put on a show, he can definitely do it. Even though his age is young, he definitely doesn't show it on the track. He will definitely put on a show for a lot of us at home, and he'll put up some aggressive moves against these drivers. He's always very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he's entertaining over the microphone as well. Great kid, and always fun to race him. That is for sure. Yeah, just kind of waiting for the qualifying to wrap up here. 40 seconds to go. They're still in the drivers' meeting. We're not able to see really any of the remainder of the throwback paint schemes at the moment, but as we go through the grid and during pacing, we'll try and call out as many as we can. And as well as during the race itself, we'll try and get to their schemes. But of course, you can go and vote for the best throwback scheme using the link in the description. I will also put it in the chat right here. Popped up. Yes, it did. A Google form. You should be able to go there. You can pick your top 3 favorite schemes from the list. And from those votes, we'll tally them up, see who has the most, and they'll get a $10 award for their efforts. As we are wrapping up qualifying, going to be headed towards the starting grid. Let's see where our favorite drivers are starting in tonight's race. Rolling off from the front row, it's going to be AJ Stravato. Let me see if we can get a good view of these guys. All right, AJ Stravato going to be starting on the front row. Alongside him, it's going to be Seth Hatchell in the number 8 machine. Starting in row number 2, Keith Mayato, Zach Carr in 3rd and 4th. 5th tonight on the starting grid is going to be Ryan Gemmel. 6th will be Anthony Pelican. 7th is going to be James Loveland. 8th will be Chris Samard. 9th is Angelo Ronis. Rounding out the top 10, it'll be Dallas Sullivan. In 11th position, it'll be Alec Martinez. 12th will be Nick Gardner. 13th, Safe Ferris. 14th, Bradley Wilson. 15th is going to be Nick Starling. 16th will be Reggie Ortega. 17th will be Mark Beverly. Going off 18th, it's Alan Dice. 19th will be Cody Adkins. Going from 20th, it'll be Alex Pelican.
Starting in 21st tonight will be the 29 car of Clint Leatherwood. 22nd, Nick Alves. In 23rd, we have Brett Sommers. 24th, Tony Baird. 25th, Jacob Houston. 26th, Dennis Steele. 27th, Timmy Emanuele. 28th, Joshua Abbey. 29th, Jeremy Miller. 30th, Garrett Wolfenbarger. 31st, Josiah Vincent. 32nd, brother Jeremiah Vincent. 33rd, Eric Lambert. 34th, Dennis Fairclough. 35th, Lyle Solfridge, and in 36th, his brother Lane Solfridge. 37th, we have Jordan Shepler. 38th, Michael Newman. 39th, Joey Mines. 40th, Zach Smith, and rounding off our 41 car field tonight will be Robert Gilmore in the 40 car.
A huge field here tonight for this 1 mile racetrack, and that is going to lead to some very intense racing action throughout. There's always going to be somebody side by side, and we do get nice long green flag runs here. I expect to see a lot of lap car action. The leaders will have to navigate through there, and that will get interesting in and of itself, along with these guys all racing it up amongst each other. But starting on the pole here tonight, AJ Stravato looking for his first victory of the season. Champion from 2 seasons ago. Finished runner-up, and last year's champion is going to be starting on his outside. That is Seth Hatchell. So a couple of former champions going to get us going here tonight from the Rock. And pace car makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Waiting for that green flag to fly. And get us underway. Green flag in the air. And we are off and away from Rockingham. Coming out of turn number 4, Hatchell had the advantage through turn 3. He's going to lead at the line, so lap 1 goes to Seth Hatchell, the number 8 machine. AJ Stravato fighting back down low. Here comes the 27 of Zach Carr to the outside of Keith Mayato. Mayato in that throwback Ward Burton Caterpillar scheme. He works down low in 4th position, trying to make up some ground down there. Behind him, his teammate Ryan Gemmel. Then Anthony Pelican giving chase. Side by side, Angelo Ronas and James Loveland, the 17 and the 56. Gonna be tricky keeping up with which cars are which here tonight with the new paint schemes. But so many good-looking cars on track. Is Alec Martinez working into the top 10, but Safe Fair is going to work on past him up to 9th. Chris Samard losing a couple of spots here early on.
We already see Zach Carr battling the second place car, Seth Hatchell, for second place spot. He has moved his way up already from 4th, I believe, is where he started, and he's been battling on the outside with this 8 car. But I know from experience that outside line burns these tires up very quickly. So we'll have to see how much of this tire wear will affect the 27 car later in the run. And as AJ Stravato continues to pull away as those two are battling, as the 27 car finally gets in front of the 8 car.
Yeah, Zach Carr, 2-time winner back-to-back already this season. Looking for 3 in a row here in just race number 4. Trying to keep other drivers off that wins list and trying to climb up standings or climb farther away in the standings, as right now he sits atop the points lead. Oh, but big wiggle back here. Bradley Wilson slipping up the racetrack. And as we get a good look here at the 51, that is going to be a throwback to... That is a Denny Hamlin paint scheme off of his little, I think that's a 6-cylinder car, a 4-cylinder car from Langley. And a cool looking scheme tribute there for Bradley Wilson. He works his way down the back straightaway. But up in front of him, Reggie Ortega in that 13th position, up 3 spots. Alex Pelican up 6 spots in the Slim Jim machine. Right in front of them, Nick Gardner and his Menards throwback. Nick is a crew member at, it's going to be All-League Racing, but was on the team for Frank Kimmel and also for Matt Crafton during a couple of championship seasons. So that is what he is throwing back to the car, trying to mimic a Camping World Truck Series machine, and does a really good job at it, actually. A couple of views of this car, you almost think it's a truck with a Camaro nose. Out in front, AJ Stravato still hanging on to this top spot as we start lap number 10.
And a little bit further back, we have Angelo Horonis in the 17 car. Started in 9th place and already up to 6th place, moving up a couple of spots and kind of just hanging out in the back of this front pack. He's got a couple of drivers behind him, but good start to the race for him, and he's going to be hounding this 6 car in front of him, maybe trying to look to get by him here in a little bit.
Yeah, closed up quite a bit out of turn number 4. Now actually peaks down low, but backs out of it before they dive into turn number 1. But Angelo Ronas, yeah, definitely showing some good speed in the opening sequence here. But remember, 75 laps for stage number 1, so it's going to take a little while. And you've definitely got to save your stuff around this racetrack. Back a little bit farther here, Cody Adkins starting to close up on Mark Beverly. Mark in, I believe this is a Dick Trickle throwback scheme, the 15. Cody Adkins throwing it back to, that is an inspired scheme. It's not an exact copy. Inspired by a Kenny Wallace Square D paint scheme as well. They're getting set to do battle. Jeremy Miller starting to close up on them. Then Alan Dice, the Apple car. And Brett Sommers in his usual scheme right behind.
And there was a big checkup by the 15 car as the 57 car almost slides up into the 15 car there in turn 3, and they almost take each other out, but they managed to keep it clean. But 15 car had a big wiggle out of turn 2. It looks like he got tight maybe and was about to hit the wall, and that let the 81 car and the 30 car right on by.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the track temp. It's 138 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is going to be slick out here. I did see some drivers sliding around during the practice session, and that explains it. 138, that is no joke. That is a really slick surface. As Brett Sommers now going to make a pass on the outside of Alan Dice. Alan dropping a few spots after making them up initially. He started, it looks like 18th, and yeah, he's back to 22nd now. Maybe just trying to save his stuff. Now Tony Baird looks to the outside, has to go way up the racetrack. He'll try and scoot on around. Behind him, the 24 of Nick Alves and the Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior throwback. But the logo's changed on that one for Tricky Facebook Gaming. But a really great job there. That was done by Dennis Faircloth here in the league. Looking for some battles on the racetrack for side-by-side. Up here at the front, James Loveland starting to close up on Angelo Ronis. That is going to be just a car length separating those two, not even as they go down the back straightaway. Loveland going to work down to the inside of the 17. Going to try and complete that pass down here into turn number 1. Angelo fights back on the high side. Here comes Safe Ferris into the picture. Oh, and car off the racetrack down there on the back straightaway. That is Robert Gilmore hard in the inside wall. And his Budweiser, that's a Ricky Craven throwback. And that car is beat up. I don't know how he got there, but let's go take a look. Running towards the rear of the field after starting in 40th. And just misjudges the throttle point on the exit of turn 2. That shoots him into the inside wall. The leaders went on past, and he is limping his way back up onto the racetrack just now. Angelo Ronis just lost a bunch of positions. He goes back to 9th now. He was battling with James Loveland up there in 6th.
And you can see just how quickly one mistake from a driver can cost him so many positions, especially at a momentum track like this. You can really get loose very easily or tight at this track, and it's very difficult to control that car. And again, we see the one mistake, and he loses those couple of spots that he gained at the start of the race.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if somebody had made contact with him, but it looks like he gave up the positions to Safe Ferris and also to the 99. And still inside the top 10, still plenty of time to make up positions, but starting to go the wrong direction is Garrett Wolfenbarger right here closing up on Nick Alves. He's going to have Michael Newman on his tail in a few moments. It's down in turn 3, just one car length separating those two. It's 27th and 28th. Wolfenbarger in the Brett Bodine fired Martin Sports throwback.
And we have a good battle going on between 15th and 16th right now. These couple of drivers, the 2 car of Nick Starling, the 21 car of Alexander Pelican, and the 81 car of Cody Atkins have kind of just been trading blows right now, passing each other and then getting past. But that 2 car of Nick Starling is now looking to the inside of the 51 car of Bradley Wilson, and he will be able to make it stick down the bottom and get the run. He will.
Yeah, this is an interesting looking car right here. This is Nick Starling's number 2 RCA John Andretti throwback. It looks like it's supposed to be on a Mustang, but it's on a Camaro. So little mistake or miscalculation on their part. But 81 and 51 now side by side. Cody Atkins will take that spot away. Yeah, some comers and goers early on in this thing. And it's just obvious. You can see these guys, some of them really start to struggle. The others have slowed up here at the first few laps and starting to pick them off one at a time.
It is really amazing how quick the handling can go away in this car at Rockingham. Your first couple of laps, you feel great. You can get around this track pretty smoothly. And then all of a sudden, everything goes up in flames and he can't drive this car nearly as well as he once before. But one person who's not having an issue right now is AJ Stravato. He's pulled out to a 2.5 second lead over Zach Carr, and he continues to pull away. Not sure if this is him just being conservative or maybe he's being aggressive trying to build this lead. Possibly it's dirty air, but we'll find out in the later laps of this run.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds up the road from Zach Carr, who has won the previous 2 races. But AJ with some really good speed here in the short run. We've got smoke up in front of him. That's Eric Lambert off on the apron. It looks like Eric, just a little bit of rear end damage, has been able to keep it rolling. Eric throwing it back to the Dale Earnhardt Bass Pro Shops, Good Wrench Chevrolet. Running it here on a Toyota Camry. Not sure how Dale would feel about that. Probably would be all right with it. But yeah, Zach Carr started to match lap times. He's actually started to pick up just a little bit on AJ. 10th quicker that time around.
I did see AJ having to work around a bit of lap traffic. It looks like some of these drivers were having a little bit of handling issues and slowed down a little bit too much, and AJ kind of had to adjust his line. So not sure if it's lap traffic that's getting in his way or if he is slowing down, but all I know is Zach Carr's got to be loving the lap traffic right now.
Yeah, he may be loving them holding up AJ, but he just got held up a little bit. Jacob Houston with nose damage going 1 lap down here. He was the lap car they've worked around. Jordan Shepor, the next one in line, the Kodak machine. He goes 1 lap down. Currently first car 1 lap down. And Dennis Faircloth, the next car up the road, not having the race that I'm sure he would like after a really strong performance at Mid-Ohio last night in the Xfinity Series. Dennis throwing it back to, that is a Tony Stewart Habitat for Humanity paint scheme, and got his Thrustmaster and Geico sponsors on there. Up in front of him, Joey Mines in a very similar, basically the invert of that paint scheme, battling it up with Zach Smith, Lane Sulfridge. This is 30th through 32nd. These guys are all in a pretty tight battle. Pretty much everybody fairly close together in this race.
We see a big mover in Josiah Vincent. He's been making his way up from the back of the pack, starting in 31st, and it looks like he's about to get to the 19th place car of Alexander Pelican. He's been moving up pretty slowly but surely, and he hasn't been burning his stuff up from what I've seen. If he can keep this up, he'll have finished with a great night tonight.
Yeah, up from 30th to 19th. Definitely marching forward. Jeremiah Vincent right there behind him. And the oh-so-famous Jurassic Park Jeff Gordon throwback. Now, that car was outlawed by NASCAR after Ray Evernham really pushed the boundaries of the gray areas of the rule book. And very famous scheme for that reason. They absolutely dominated in a car that I think was technically legal in every way, but coming the next week, it was not legal anymore. But Jeremiah looking for some of that speed here tonight, up to 19th, starting in 31st.
That's one of the beautiful things about this league that we're running in BTDY. It's a fixed setup league, so every single driver out here has the exact same car. The cosmetics might look a little bit different, whether they drive a Toyota, Chevy, or Ford, but underneath the hood, everything's exactly the same, and it really takes into account driver talent and how well they can drive these cars. There is no other factors, really, in the decisions of who's going to win these races other than the driver themselves.
And you mentioned some things looking different cosmetically. One car definitely looking a bit different cosmetically. That's going to be Joshua Abbey, who's in the Terry Labonte silver throwback. This car missing the front end, and I think he put some fresh tires on it about 13 laps ago, so that's the only reason he is keeping up right now. But on equal tires, that car is going to be well off the pace, even at a shorter track like Rockingham, just 1 mile in length. AJ Stravato, he's been able to maintain a pretty good gap, making his way around a few of those lap cars, being Zach Smith, Joey Mines, Dennis Faircloth, a few others there as well. But that brings us to 29 left on the lead lap. Timmy Emanuele, the Rick Mast Remington throwback in 29th, the next car up the road from AJ. Just about a second and a half away, or not even that much. You see AJ closing up to him That's going to be another car to go a lap down here within the first 40 laps.
Some tight racing going on with the 27 and the 36, not by their doing, but these lap cars. They're getting bottled up behind these drivers, and it's really allowing AJ to pull away even further. And I know that these drivers do not want to be seeing that, as lap cars were hurting AJ earlier, but now it looks like they're giving him a hand.
Yeah, he stretched out over a second right there on that last lap. And, yeah, that is not what they are going to want to see back here trying to track him down. Seth Hatchell works on by, and next one in line is going to be Alec Martinez, who we saw drop all the way right around the 12th position, and he is up to 5th now, saving his tires in the early running. So used to seeing that from Alec, and he is marching forward now.
Alec really is great at saving his tires. It's very tricky to do at these tracks. It just takes the right amount of throttle control and turning of the wheel and how much input you're putting into your controls. And he's just always been a great driver at doing that, and it shows always on the late runs, as he always manages to catch back up to the leaders and give them a run for their money.
Yeah, right now he is the fastest car on the racetrack by a tenth and a half over AJ Stravato. Not much faster than Hatchell or Mayato in front of him, but still about a half-tenth faster. And you can see it right there. Drives right up out of turn 4. He'll go to the inside of the 8 machine. This is for 4th. And really no contest there. I think Seth pretty much going to let him have it, knowing the speed differential between those two cars at the moment. Yeah, Alec just that time 0.3 faster than Hatchell. Well, yeah, it's not really even going to be a battle at that point. If you can get to somebody, you'll be able to drive on by. And Keith Mayato did get to 2nd, so he's going to try and track down AJ. But 2.3 seconds the difference. Going to be a tall order to do so. Meanwhile, back here, 16 of Nick Gardner, 17 of Angelo Ronas, side by side through 1 and 2. Up out of the corner, it looks like Angelo backs out of it. And Nick will secure the top 10 position. Alice Sullivan, James Loveland losing a few spots in the early going, but James Loveland's going to peel off. He's going to head to pit lane here. I'm not sure if these guys can make it to the end of the stage. We've seen a few cars bring it down. Alex Pelican on pit road, one of the first cars to bring it down, and now James Loveland comes in. The 29, that is Clint Leatherwood, who has been off the track for over 5 minutes. Looking like he may be taking his car behind the wall. Last time by, though, Mayato, another half-tenth taken away from the race leader of AJ Stravato, and that gap now down to right around 2 seconds flat. See what their times are across the line. AJ, really good lap there, 0.2 faster than Keith. But Alec Martinez now moves to 3rd. And starting to get up into contention for potentially a stage win here on his debut in the series.
He's moving up very quick, and he still has a little bit ways to go before he can get up to AJ. The only question we have now is, are they going to be able to make it on gas? You mentioned it just a couple moments ago. We see these drivers pitting already, and is there enough gas to make it to the end of this first stage? And when they do come down for gas, are they going to take tires? It's going to be a lot of strategy call here early on if this goes green the rest of the way.
Yeah, and James Loveland, he is coming back down pit road. Must have made a mistake or not even serviced the vehicle. Maybe even a penalty, I'm not sure, as he rolls into his pit box. So an issue there for the 56. Misses his stall, actually, and he's going to get put at least another lap or 2 down. So early struggles and mistakes. Oh, his contact! The 28 of Dennis Steele pulled right up in front, and we've got a caution on the racetrack. He pulled right up in front of Tony Baird, and that was right in front of Keith Mayato. Go back and see what happened there. I saw it just out of the corner of my vision as the 28 rolled out of the way to let the leader by. The AJ, he closes up really fast, gets right to the bumper, Actually checks up as the 28 goes on the apron and then comes back up on the track, slams the 98, who catches the 15 of Mark Beverly, and Beverly goes around into the outside wall. Find Mark here on the sticker. Actually, he kept it off the outside wall. What a great job there, and Alec Martinez almost got into him, just narrowly avoided contact.
And Dennis Steele really, he had right intentions there. He was trying to get out of the leader's way. It's just very, very difficult spot to do that. It's almost better just to go high, but when you're in that situation, it's a split-second decision, and he really had good intentions there, and I don't think him coming back up on the track and causing that wreck was anywhere intentional, as he did go on the mic and apologize afterwards.
Oh, and multiple drivers missing their boxes. Something's going on here. The 27, the 36, the 33. Oh my gosh, Alec Martinez, he didn't even get service completed really on that car. Or maybe just fuel only. 6 seconds in the pit box. Quite a few other drivers with problems. It looks like Alec Martinez, and then Bradley Wilson, it looks like he gets the lucky dog. Ryan Gemmel elects to stay on the track. So interesting call there from the 6. See if he comes back down here. It does appear he is going to bring it on the pit lane. That'll hand the lead back over to AJ Serrato. Alec Martinez with an issue.
It looks like Alec Martinez was given a black flag for entering closed pits.
Oh, man. I don't know how that was possible.
I believe he entered when... Didn't he enter when everyone else entered?
Yeah, that's... Not sure about that. He might have had a bad pit entry. Maybe... Did he miss the cone or something? I don't know. That's... make a lot of sense to me, but he's going to go towards the tail of the field here, or tail end of the longest line with only 25 to go in the stage. Doesn't look like the 18, after such a hard charge there, is going to be able to get up and win the stage, but AJ Serrato will take over that race lead.
AJ Serrato did just go on the mic and tell us that he did not take tires. He's warning the drivers, like, hey, I'm on old tires, just be careful around me. And we see strategy already taken into a place. In this league, they've cut the amount of tires that you're given throughout a race to a much smaller amount than what we're used to in other leagues. And AJ deciding to save his tires right now and hoping that that pays off for him later on.
3 additional sets of tires here this evening, so 4 total sets, including the set you start on. And AJ with an 11.6 second pit stop, Hatchell with a 14.7. So I believe the next 4 or 5 cars all took tires. So AJ is definitely going to be slower, and it looks like it could fall into the hands of one of these next few drivers. Keith Mato also taking tires. Zach Carr, looks like Safe Ferris also taking tires. Zach took extra time in his pit box, 5 extra seconds. I think that was just missing the entry into the box. He had to back up along with Mayato, but so many other drivers doing that as well. About to get back going. AJ Serrato will be the control car, but on old tires. He could spin them, and this could be dangerous for those cars on the inside lane. Does spin them there, gets up through the gears decently well, but that does check them up. The 99, a little tap from the 27 of Zach Carr, and Zach now moves up to the high side. Evasive maneuvers, trying to get some ground made up there, but AJ Serrato, you see him dropping like a rock. Car's hitting the wall farther back in the field, but Seth Hatchell takes over the race lead from his teammate. Now in second, Keith Mayato, who ran second for a good portion of that first run. We'll see if he can get up there and challenge the 8 machine.
Almost big trouble between the 99 car and the 37 car trying to get by AJ Serrato. They almost wrecked each other, and they managed to keep it straight as they're now working around AJ. Reggie gonna dive it in and run into the back of the 37 car, but they managed to keep it straight for now. Let's see if there's any more aggressive driving as the rest of this run goes on.
Yeah, that was, I think, just Reggie probably looking to his outside, seeing that 33 And then Chris maybe a little bit cautious on the turn entry, and really just dove in there, got into the back bumper, but they live to race on. No major issues other than the damage itself. Yeah, AJ Servato dropping still all the way back to 11th now. But he has a little margin back to Jeremy Miller, who's battling with Nick Gardner. Those two have been going at it all race long. The 57 of Alan Dice right there in the wake, as well as Josiah, Jeremiah Vincent. A lot of drivers having really strong runs here tonight in the mid-pack.
Great battle going on right there in the mid-pack. 2x2 there for a little bit. They managed to settle it out for now, but I don't see it lasting much longer if they keep getting side by side with this, as Jeremy Miller gets up into the wall and loses a couple of more spots. He manages to keep it straight, but we've seen a lot of little incidents from these drivers tonight, but no real big wrecks yet.
And Jeremy, I believe, on old tires as well. He had a slow stop 4 wide out of turn number 4. They somehow figure it out as Bradley Wilson swings it around the outside. And yeah, Jeremy really losing ground now. That car well off the pace. Ryan Gemmel in the same boat, not too far behind him, did not take tires there. He's going to try and go to the inside of Josiah Vincent, and Eric Lambert almost took him 3 wide. Up at the front, that Hatchell putting a lap on Brett Sommers. And Brett now goes 2 laps down. Seth holding on to this gap over his teammate Keith Mayato, and Safe Fair is in 3rd. That car 4th. Anthony Pelican up to the 5th position. Currently holding off Dallas Sullivan, Reggie Ortega. Ortega's gotten past Samard after their contact. Now Nick Starling up into the top 10 in 9th. Angelo Ronis rounding out the top 10. AJ Servato 6 seconds back from Angelo Ronis. And I think at this rate, he might have to be concerned about staying on the lead lap. Currently 13.
I think with these top 4 drivers about to be battling each other really hard for the stage win, I don't think he'll have an issue going a lap down right this second. It may come up in the future, but this top 4 really tight right now. We're going to be seeing a really good finish for this first stage.
Yeah, top 4 have broken away as Hatchell works to the inside. That's Joey Mayans up there. Tony Stewart throwback. He brushes the wall as the leaders pass, and right in front of him, it's going to be Dennis Fairclough getting out of the way. Hatchell checked up just a little bit behind Dennis Steele. Here comes Keith Mayato. Not able to get much closer as they go through 1 and 2, though. Cars making contact right in front of the leaders. They check up big time. There we're going to go to the outside. Josiah Vincent, Ryan Gemmel had to slow up a ton. That was the 11 of Jacob Houston. And oh no, the 4 of Josiah Vincent slides way up the track. Somehow they survive. That was messy, but they all made it through. Somehow.
I have no idea how. I really don't have an idea how these cars are still straight right now. How did they not wreck there? That's crazy.
2 near, catastrophic moments. It's the 11 of Josiah Vincent, Jacob Houston to the inside of Josiah Vincent in the 4. They go side by side. And right now there are only 16 cars on the lead lap, and that is about to change even yet, as Nick Gardner right in front of the race leaders. He's in 16th and did not take tires, and he's going to get right in front of Hatchell, who will now work to the inside. But that's the speed difference right there. Old tires, new tires. And Safe Fair's just a little brush alongside the 16. Safe now has to hold off that car after kind of getting out of his momentum right there. Dak all over his back bumper. Going to be 10 to go. Less than 10 to go to the end of the stage, and Hatchell's still hanging on to it.
Safe, not very safe tonight. He's been very dangerous tonight, and we've seen a lot of wrecks from right near him, and they just haven't been wrecks yet. But with the way things are going right now, I would not be surprised to see a wreck happen around him. He can't keep getting lucky like that, where you keep tapping these cars, and I expect something bad to happen here shortly.
Battle for the race lead. Keith Mayato works to the inside of Seth Hatchell. They're approaching Jeremiah Vincent. Keith Mayato takes the top spot and able to get around his teammate as Hatchell now to the inside of the 9. Try and clear him and maybe try and make another move back up to the 36. But Keith maybe saving the tires there for a few laps. Gets around him, and he's already checked out now 3 car lengths.
Great job by Keith using that lap car as a pick to kind of hold the 8 car up high a little bit and dive down to his inside. Nowhere for the 8 to go. 8 could have pushed it 3 wide possibly, but I think letting it go at that point in time was the right call for him.
Yeah, definitely a good call for sure as they stay safe and continuing in the right direction. Back here, Anthony Pelican trying to hold off Dallas Sullivan. They're separated by a few car lengths, now working past the lap machine of Nick Gardner. Nick Starling has gotten around Reggie Ortega. I think that damage may be hurting Reggie. He's lost spots now to Samard and Starling. But a massive gap back to Bradley Wilson, 51 machine, who's 10th and a bit over half a lap down. So 5 to go next time. And we only have 13 cars on the lead lap. And right now, last on the lead lap, that's Alec Martinez right in front of the race leaders. Here comes Mayato. He's going to look to the high side. Alec's not going to let it go all that easy, though, as he's got to stay in the lucky dog position at the very least. Mayato's going to put him a lap down right here. And big wiggle even on the straightaway for Alec. As Safe Fair is starting to close up, maybe going to put some pressure on his satellite teammate for Team Red Speed, Team V Speed. Safe a little touch off the wall right there. Zach Carr had a moment last lap. I saw him down on the apron on the front straightaway, so he had a moment, able to keep it moving forward. Meanwhile, at the front, Mayato, 2 car lengths in hand over his teammate. Going to be 3 laps to go. They cross the start-finish line right there. Next car to go a lap down would be Angelo Ronis in 12th. That is how far ahead the race leaders are, as the 56 of James Loveland with more issues on the apron. And he has not had a good night in 34th position. Yeah, it is going to be Alan Dice, Angelo Ronis, Bradley Wilson just outside, or 10th, 11th, 12th, and they're the last cars on the lead lap.
And Alec Martinez is going to really be hoping that this 17 car of Angelo Ronis does not get caught by the leader right now. It's going to be very difficult with how green this race has been so far for them to make up their laps. And another driver who is now no longer in the lucky dog position is AJ Stravato. After issues on pit road not being able to take tires, he has fallen a lap down and is not going to be able to get that lap back unless if he stays out. But with those old tires, it's going to be very difficult.
And lap cars 3 wide for a moment there in front of the race leaders. Coming back for the stage, Keith Mayato, already the all-time stage wins leader here in Below the WO. He's going to add another one to his portfolio, and he'll take it there at the end of lap 75. Keith Mayato, stage winner here at Rockingham, holding off his teammate. Great battle, though, between those two, as Hatchell didn't let him get away. Keith Mayato, stage winner here at Rockingham. Only leads 9 laps in the first stage, but he led the right ones, and he'll get that bonus playoff point. The cat number 36. And we've got smoke on the track in front of the race leaders. I did hear some contact with a car somewhere around the racetrack, but I didn't see who it was, where it was exactly. So to potentially find out later on. James Loveland still very slow around this racetrack. I don't know what's going on with James. He may have some serious issues, either mechanically or maybe he's got problems with his with heck, maybe the wheel that having problems. I don't know. He's really slow around the racetrack though. As leaders will dive to pit lane, get some fresh tires and top off on Noco fuel. What a crazy end to the first stage there.
That was a great first stage. We saw a lot of very close calls, and we saw a different strategy there, or possibly it wasn't strategy, it was just misfortune on pit road. And we're seeing it taken to place now as we have so many cars down multiple laps, and a lot of cars only down one lap. But we're gonna have to see what these cars one lap down do. Are they gonna stay out on these old tires? We saw how quickly they got caught on fresh tires compared to the leaders, so we're gonna have to wait and see.
And Alec Martinez did get the lucky dog, so a lucky break there for the 18, who was really, really fast in stage 1, but got the strategy call wrong. Didn't take tires, only took fuel. Seth Hatchell wins the battle off pit road. Keith Maiato going to be second. Then Nick Starling third off of pit road. Nick, actually, it looks like top 5 fuel only. Dallas Sullivan may have taken 2 tires. He had a little longer pit stop. Reggie Ortega, fuel only. Anthony Pelican may have taken tires. He had a 14-second stop. So it's going to be a mixture of strategies here. Things are going to get crazy in stage number 2. If we can get a word in with the stage winner there. Are not on the one to go just yet. All right, let's see if we can pull Keith Maiato into the... Maiato, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got me.
10-4.
Well, Keith, what a crazy end to the stage there. You were able to take the lead away and win the stage. Just talk to us about that battle and the lap cars and all that craziness.
It was crazy, and I didn't even think about how we were going to lap everyone so quickly with these new tires. Might be reversed in the situation right now, but it was crazy. There was a lot of close contact. I had to go into the apron at one point to dodge someone, but it gave me the chance to pass Seth. One of those little incidents gave me that advantage.
Yeah, it looked like you held back a little bit there, and you were able to make the move when you needed to using the lap car as a pick. Did you think he was going to be able to get back to you, or how close are you guys there on speed?
Probably. I was kind of abusing it quite a bit there. I'm kind of a little nervous on how this is going to turn out right now because I used it up a little more than I would like to on that first run. But we'll see. I'm hoping for a long green run now.
Yeah, and I think that would make for some exciting battles here as we continue on. But so far, a stage winner and looking good out there. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. See you, Adam.
All right, that's Maiato, stage winner. He'll restart on the outside of the front row. So he'll be at a little bit of a disadvantage, I believe, to this restart. But Hatchell will have control. See how Keith gets going to his outside. Car's going to make that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. We are back underway from Rockingham. Seth Hatchell, good launch there. Maiato doesn't let him get too far away, just 1.5 car lengths separating them. And there's Reggie Ortega now moving up to third. Only 14 cars on the lead lap. Mixture of strategies. We'll see some cars with fresh tires making their way forward. Nick Starling hard in the wall, flying through the air, upside down, up and over. Oh man, what a hit. And the 16 of Nick Gardner goes around here late. A brutal crash for the 2 of Nick Starling, who is doing so well in tonight's race. That will end his chances of potentially even finishing the event tonight.
That was a really hard hit. He just got turned right into that wall and nailed again by the 57 car.
And Nick had not taken tires on that stop, so he was on those older tires. Racing it up there, Angelo Ronis, who is outside, the 99 of Pelican behind him, and then the 27 of Zach Carr on the high side. Goes down into the corner, gets kind of hooked on the right rear, and just bounces off the wall, lands on top of someone. Ends up back on all fours, and then the 16 of Nick Gardner getting turned around right there as well. I don't think he ended up with all that much damage. But that was just a brutal crash. You can go on board with him, possibly. That'll make you sick. I want to see who he landed on top of. That was Alan Dice. Bounced right off the roof. AJ Stravato just barely avoided that. See, the 99 gets in the outside wall after all of that happened. I don't think Alan Dice even suffered any real damage because he landed on the actual roof of the car. Oh man, went straight through our camera. That car with a little damage as he gets the 99, and the 99, Anthony Pelican, that was a really hard hit on his race car. Oh man.
Very interesting start to the second stage.
That is not how I expected that one to go. But that gives some guys the opportunity to change it up on strategy, possibly, if they thought they might have had it wrong. Tony Baird's going to bring it on the pit road. He's got heavy nose damage, but on the lead lap, Garrett Wolfenbarger, Nick Starling, of course. That car's not even smoking, so he may actually be able to finish this thing out. But he'll be well off the pace, that car, and he is really crab walking. I think Wolfenbarger was the lucky dog on that one. AJ Stravato, next car in line. He currently sits in the lucky dog position. So he'll be hoping for another yellow. AJ, who had 49 laps in this race, not even on the lead lap. And you talk about old school racing and throwback. This kind of like an old school race. You'd have things like this happen a lot more often than they do now.
With the amount of bumping and banging, it does really feel like a 90s race. We used to see a lot more back in the day. These drivers were able to use their bumpers and kind of take advantage of how durable those cars were. And we see NASCAR trying to go in the direction of, with the next gen, trying to get those cars with a little bit more durability and using kind of the same materials, I believe, as the Xfinity cars to try and get those cars to where if you get damage, it's not going to hurt you as much and they're not going to be as aerodynamic dependent. So we'll be waiting to see how that next gen of cars comes around and how well they race.
It should be fun. It'd be cool if they could go back to Rockingham. It was always a fun track to watch and provided some really exciting moments like we've already seen here tonight. So again, it'll be Mayato and Hatchell on the front row. Hatchell with the control on the restart. Once again, we'll see how he gets going. Green flag in the air, another good launch, but Mayato timed it pretty well. Big wheel spin from the 22, and they're 3 wide behind him. Settle it out. Now battling for fourth, though, as Angelo Ronas has gotten up to third. Good drive from the 17. As he survived that wreck and sees a new lease on life, I think. But let's not forget, Zach Carr is on fresher tires. A 25-second pit stop during the last pit cycle. And he has a good shot to get up here and take the lead away from these two V-Speed machines. Alec Martinez got the lucky dog. 2 cautions to go. Currently 9th and trying to work his way back forward.
And I'm not sure if you're seeing what I'm seeing as well, but the 46 car of Dallas Sullivan currently running in
wait. Keith Mayato gets turned just about. That was for second spot. They're 5 wide on the backstretch. This isn't going to work. Sorry to interrupt you there. That was a huge moment.
No, that was more entertaining than what I was going to talk about. I was talking about how the 46 car doesn't have a hood, but right as soon as I start talking about that big issue with Keith Mayato and they almost cause a wreck, that 5 wide at Rockingham and they don't wreck. I would have never thought we'd see that.
I honestly can't believe Keith didn't wreck it in the first place, though. He saved it after getting a big hit from the 27 to Zach Carr. That cost them both quite a bit of track position, and there is still battling going on. 3 wide back here. AJ Stravato trying to work his way back on the lead lap the hard way, and Reggie Ortega hard in the wall. It is just non-stop action here tonight at Rockingham. Cars all over the place. A 40-car field. This is kind of what I expected to see. It's been green for most of this race, though. Just been beating and banging. as Reggie Ortega gets put in the wall by Jeremiah Vincent, and he is dropping spots now. Hard damage to the right side of that race car, and he is struggling. You see him drift up the racetrack now 3 wide with Ryan Gemmel, and the 21 of that is Alex Pelican. And Reggie's going to have
Very unfortunate.
Yeah, just a bad mistake there as they were 3 wide. It looked like the 9 maybe overshot corner, or maybe they didn't realize they were 3 wide. It did not work out for the 22. Jeremiah 1 lap down, trying to track down AJ, who's the lucky dog spot. I'm sure AJ seeing all this stuff going on. It's like, man, can't I get a yellow?
Well, the way they're racing, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if one comes out. And if one doesn't come out, I will definitely be very surprised. I'm amazed that we haven't gotten one already, and since we got the last one. These drivers taking it 3 wide, 5 wide, getting into the wall, coming down on the track sideways. We've seen everything since the last green flag dropped, and somehow they're keeping it green still.
Meanwhile, Bradley Wilson has taken over the lead. I think he's got a little fresher tires than the guys behind him, but Zach Carr now takes over second. He works past Seth Hatchell, who's faded now to third, and here come some other drivers, Alec Martinez and some lap machines making their way past. They're talking about the lap car of AJ Stravado. Well, he's on the back bumper of second place. He could very well race his way back on the lead lap here. Next car in line is the race leader, Bradley Wilson. I think AJ has fresher tires than either of these lead lap or leader cars. He could very well do so. Oh, man, what a strange race. Some of the top drivers, the top contenders, are either lapped down or have heavy damage or have been involved in something here in the first half of this race. We're not even halfway, and we only have 13 cars on the lead lap.
And having only 13 cars on the lead lap is really good news for Reggie Ortega. He might have a damaged race car right now and have fallen back to 11th place, but he can still manage to pull off a very good finish here tonight, even after getting wrecked like that. So you have to think as a driver, what can I pull out of races like this where things just don't go quite my way, and I have to really fight for any position I can get, whether it be through strategy or just staying out on the track longer than these other drivers. But Reggie Ortega is still in line for a decent finish tonight.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, what about these drivers that are maybe still up here in the mix, and they're not necessarily those guys you see up there in the top 10 week in and week out? They're trying to take advantage of all this chaos and achieve the best finish they can. Mark Beverly, an example of that. He was involved in a caution around lap 40. That car was sideways, dead sideways on the backstretch. That's what brought out the yellow. And he is up here in 7th, just 6.8 seconds behind the race leader and keeping up with those guys. So Mark Beverly taking advantage of all this chaos, and he's still in contention now.
And we do see a race for the lead developing right now. AJ Stravado already got by the leader, and he's back on the lead lap. He's going to have to try and stay out in front of these drivers and make sure that he doesn't burn his stuff up too much to lose that lap again. But this 27 car has been closing in on this 51 car, and we'll see how long he's able to hold up as the 51 car does slide up a bit in turn 1. You see how beautifully that 27 car was able to hook that yellow line in turn 1 and 2, and he's able to get right up to that bumper.
Yeah, through 3 and 4, the battle is for the race lead. Here comes Jeremiah Vincent, another driver trying to work his way back onto the lead lap. He currently sits in the lucky dog position, so if something were to happen, he could just get that wave by, but he wants to do it the hard way, and he is right there as the battle for the lead. Side by side, Bradley Wilson. That car through 3 and 4, the 27 down low, gets the drive up out of the corner, gets the nose out in front. Down the straightaway, though, the 51 pulls him back across the line, neck and neck. Don't even know who led that lap. Looks like Zach Carr, possibly. No, Bradley beat him to the line, but he's going to lose the lead in 1 and 2. Zach Carr back to the front.
Again, we saw it earlier, I believe. Was it Keith Mailata or Zach Carr who used a lap car as a pick earlier in the first stage? I think it might have been Keith, but we've seen that now twice tonight where lap cars taking a factor into this lead lap into the lead battle, and the leader losing out again.
And Zach Carr tracked him down. He's driven away now 3/4 of a second. We're riding on board with Keith Mayato, who rides in 8th, who has led 11 laps here. And not all that long ago was up there racing for the lead, but 12.3 seconds behind. Kind of off sequence with strategy now, or at least with the better strategy, I think. But he's got to figure out a way to stay on this lead lap and claw his way back into the top 5 who are driving away from him. Dallas Sullivan up here in 4th, having a heck of a run. Started in 10th, has been up in the top 10 or around the top 10 for most of this race.
And just when you think he might be out of the race, after going a lap down, he manages to get the lucky dog and is closing in on the leader, the 18 car of Alec Martinez. This kid just battles non-stop and always manages to find his way up front. And he's closing in on that 27 car, looking to take the lead.
Yeah, they both pit around the same time. Both took tires around the same time. And Dennis Steele on the apron again behind them. Yes, Alec Martinez tracking down the 27 of Zach Carr. He's got him locked in his sights here. And Alec Martinez so fast at the end of stage 1. For the first run, not even the end of the stage, but a longer 40-lap run, he tracked down AJ Stravato and fell off sequence. They will get back on the lead lap. Here he is, though, 2 car lengths behind in the lap car of Tony Baird to the outside. More lap traffic to navigate. This looks like a minefield in front of them as Martinez down low gets a great drive into 1 and 2, closes up the gap, but he's going to have to keep it down low on exit, able to get around those lap machines. Stack up behind him. Tony Baird down low. That's looking like it could be dangerous. That looked like a close call. I didn't see. It was Tony Baird and Eric Lambert. There's evidence of it right there. They nearly got together. That would have been catastrophic for them and for potentially some of these other guys, but also could have saved others like Reggie Ortega, AJ Stravato, and a few others to get back on sequence. But Alec is there. He's to the inside, headed into turn 1. Zach just backs out of it, gives it to him. 18 of Alec Martinez from the back to the front.
I heard on the radio the 27 car just tell Alec, just take it, man. You could see how beat up that 27 car is right now. He's been taking a lot of damage throughout the night, and it's been a little bit here and there, but you can just see how much it's affecting him, and it's definitely hurting his aerodynamics of that car, and Alec Martinez able to get by him. That's all she wrote for right now. Alec Martinez looking very strong, and if this thing goes green, he has a very high chance of winning his debut race in the Cup Series at BTDY.
And he would be the second driver to do that this season. Jeremy Miller winning in his debut at Daytona, and then Zach Carr winning the second and third races. And both of those new winners in this series. Alec Martinez has already won twice in the Xfinity cars in this series, looking like he could go to victory lane here tonight. Still a long ways to go. They're going to have to make at least one more pit stop before the end of this thing. Driving away at the moment now, 7/10 up the road. Let's see if there's other battles. Seth Hatchell and, oh, caution out on the track. I think the 80, Dennis Faircloth, yeah, he's got issues here on the front stretch. Bring the yellow out. That saves drivers like AJ Stravato and Reggie Ortega. Quite a few others who were well behind. Let's take a look at what happened to Dennis here. Looking at it, he was behind the 39 of Timmy Emanuele, right around the 27th position. Look to the high side in 3 and 4. That car never quite turned enough for him. He bounces it off the wall, spins it right across the start finish. Down through the grass, able to keep it away from everybody else. And really a pretty good job to save it from any more damage than that. As the leader, Alec Martinez, brings him down pit road.
And I believe some of these drivers might be on their last set of tires after this pit stop. I'm not quite sure which drivers have already used all of them up and will be using the last set right now, but drivers like AJ Stravato, I'm pretty sure, have an extra pair, so that can come in very big handy as AJ Stravato is on the lead lap now, and I think he'll be staying out right now. I think I just heard he's staying out on the track, so he's going to have an extra set of tires towards the end of the race, and if there is another caution, that can be very beneficial to him.
Yeah, Seth Hatchell taking tires right now. We see the 17. That's Angelo Ronis. He took a set of tires. Will actually beat the 8 off of pit road. Alec Martinez taking tires. Looks like Alex Pelican out on the track. Alex might have been the lucky dog. But this helps Jeremiah Vincent as well. He able to race his way back on the lead lap.
Alec was closing in on him actually very quickly. I think Alec would have gotten by him and he would have still been on the lead lap due to the lucky dog, but Alex Pelican wouldn't have wanted that, and he's thankful for that happening right there.
And it's beneficial to naturally be on the lead lap and taking the lucky dog because you get sent to the tail end of the longest line, which is not really where you want to be. You'll be behind all the lap cars, damaged cars, and it can be tough to navigate all that, and you lose so much time right off the rip. As Bradley Wilson, your race leader right now, took fuel only. Dallas Sullivan, Mark Beverly also taking fuel only. Alec Martinez, first car on fresh tires in 4th, and pretty easy pickings for that 18 car, assuming you don't get into it here on the actual restart.
A lot of drivers taking the wave around right there. We now have 20 cars back onto the lead lap, and they won't be able to make it to the end of the race, but if there is a caution that comes out, we now have a lot more contenders in play for this win tonight.
Yeah, we've got to see how long they even stay on the lead lap, though, because we've seen the difference in speed. It's almost 2 seconds a lap between fresh tires and old tires. And that's even going to be the difference between these top 3 and the rest of the top 10. Very interesting as we're getting double filed back up, getting ready to go. What a great race here tonight. This has been just incredible action. 4 cautions, 10 total lead changes. And we are not done yet. Still over 80 laps remaining. And honestly, it's a bit crazy we've only had 4 cautions, because it seems like there could have very easily been like 6 or 7. I think in real NASCAR there would have been 6 or 7. But tonight's race, pretty much green for the majority of it. Just a couple, quick yellows coming out one after another. About to go green once again. Bradley Wilson. We'll see if he spins the tires. Does a little bit. So does Mark Beverly. But Alec Martinez gets off in a great start there, and they're still spinning tires in front of him. Side by side stacking up back here. Mark Beverly to the middle now with Keith Mayato up high. Angelo Ronis down low. They'll make it on past. Now Alec Martinez back to the race lead just like that, bringing Seth Hatchell with him.
Trouble 46 car is around, and there will be another caution.
Dallas spinning across the start-finish line. Mark Beverly involved. Couple drivers staying out. Involved in this. That saves all those wave rounds. Exactly what they needed. Taking a look here, Dallas Sullivan, I think it was kind of on his own up the racetrack. Comes Keith Mayato, And I'm not sure they made contact, but he went around into the wall and hard hit by Mark Beverly, nowhere to go. Like Jeremy Miller also went around, or not Jeremy Miller, another car went around. May have been Ryan Gemmel.
Looked like maybe Dallas Sullivan had the air taken off of his quarter panel by Keith Miato and just kind of got loose after that and hit the wall as a result. Very unfortunate there. Dallas was having a pretty decent day. He was on the lead lap and running up front most of the night, and that will probably put an end to his day.
Yeah, Zach Smith also involved in that one. The Wildberry Skittles car tried to squeeze through the gap, wasn't enough room, and then across the track he goes. Hard in the inside wall, tows it to pit lane, so he'll be out of this one as well.
And one thing I want to notice that I want to correct myself on earlier, I'm looking at these cars from a top-down view, and it looked like the 46 car Dallas Sullivan didn't have a hood, but he actually does have a hood. It's just that he has a picture of his cat, which is black and white, on the hood, so it very much looks like he does not have a hood on it. So I apologize about that earlier if that confused anyone, but it's very funny that he has yet again a picture of one of his pets on his hood of his car.
Yeah, that's definitely his normal scheme. I think the throwback tonight, he's running a First Union 46. That's the that is a throwback to, trying to remember, Jeff Green. That's the he's got the throwback to Jeff Green, but not looking so good right now. As we work under the 5th caution of the race, Alec Martinez out in front, Seth Haschel, Chris Samard, Bradley Wilson, Garrett Wolfenbarger, your top 5. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Back at the racetrack now, the REG Customs 200 for the Below the Double Yellow Racing League Cup Series here tonight at Rockingham. We want to give a big shout out to the sponsor, REG Customs. Check them out in the description below. Alec Martinez in control. Green flag back in the air. We're underway once again. Two, three, four wide as Bradley Wilson gets a tap from the 57 of Alan Dice, goes around in front of the field, at least in front of the most of the fields, right around the 10th position, and we're going to have another yellow flag. That was Bradley Wilson getting turned around. That was a crazy restart. There was all kinds of 2-3 wide And let's go back and take a look at that. It kind of just developed right there on screen. Looking at Bradley Wilson, you see Zach Carr, Angelo Ronis, Jeremiah Vincent was down there, AJ Stravato, Alan Dice up on the high side as they nearly wrecked out of turn 4. Bradley well up the racetrack, and then the 57 just really late in the braking zone gets tapped by him, and then Gemmel sends him around a bit more, but a really nice save actually by Bradley. Not spin it all the way around. So Josiah Vincent, who was kind of straddling the apron, was able to keep that car pointed in the right direction, so good job from him. Another opportunity to go off sequence or take some more fuel for these drivers as we continue to get more and more back on the lead lap. Jeremy Miller, the lucky dog this time in 20th. He'll get back onto lead lap. In a bit of a race of attrition, I think, for Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy Miller just battling back, finally getting back on the lead lap, and with his speed, I don't really see too much damage on a car. He should be able to possibly make a run back up towards the front, maybe get a top 10 tonight. Another driver to look out for, I think, is the 6 car of Ryan Gemmel. He kind of found himself in trouble throughout this race, and he fell towards the back, I believe, and he's working his way slowly back up front in that beautiful Bell South throwback paint scheme tonight.
So now it's the opposite situation. You can see the throwback and I can't see it, but he is supposed to be running the Bell South one. We couldn't get it to show up on the broadcast. Tried multiple times, but Ryan recently announced that he is going to be with Nemco Motorsports, Joe Nemechek's team, and he should be running on screen a Bell South throwback. You can still vote for him in the voting for best throwback paint scheme. Check it out. The link is in the chat. We'll post it another time here. You can also see it in the description. It's just a Google form. You can vote for your top 3 favorite throwback paint schemes in the field tonight. Winner of that gets a $10 bonus. But yeah, Ryan gonna be moving down to Charlotte here pretty soon, and gonna be working with Nemco in the shop. So really excited for him, and pretty cool. He's honoring his boss in that way.
Just for reference, Bell South I haven't seen Bell South in a while. I know a few people who use it, and the only person who I actually know who uses it right now is my grandfather, for his email address. So that just tells you how old Bell South is compared to a lot of other stuff. Not many people really use it now as compared to what it used to be. It was very relevant back in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm not even all that familiar with it at all, although being up here in the north, it's probably not something that we had really around here. But
it's like telephone cable, typical. It's like what you have Xfinity in now, except they were like one of the originals down in the south here, down in Florida and whatnot.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I love that paint scheme. Very bright, vibrant. The old 42 car. I think Joe won a championship in that machine. The formerly Busch Series, now Xfinity Series, and of course a multi-time Cup Series winner, and his son, who is dominating the Truck Series right now, showing off his talents as well. We'll get another restart here. Alec Martinez, Seth Hatchell going to be up front. Alec, I believe, taking the outside lane. He'll have control. Actually, Hatchell with control, so Seth gets us going. Green flag back in the air. Chris Samard spinning the tires in third. Here comes Mayato, going to look to the inside, 3 wide into turn 1, and contact between the 32 and the 37 as they're stacking it up right in front of Ryan Gemmel. Was able to woe it up just enough. They all stay straight, but this is craziness each and every restart.
Every restart we're seeing with all these mixed strategies, the tire spin and people just trying to take advantage of that, and somehow they keep it green there. I really don't know how. I feel like I've been saying that a lot tonight, but it's really been amazing how many times these drivers have come so close to causing a caution and just have it tonight.
One driver hoping for another yellow. That's going to be Joey Mines in the lucky dog position. Also, Jacob Houston has worked himself back up to 2 laps down, and caution potentially. His car's going around. That was Dennis Steele and Mark Beverly. I think Mark got turned off of the nose of the 20 car. Mark Beverly, who was not all that long ago just outside the top 5, finds himself last on the lead lap, and here's the contact. And Joey gets into him as Jimmy Emanuele just skates by. Dennis Steele able to go around and battle for the race lead. Hatchell out in front, just 1 car length separating him and Angelo Ronis. Then a few more back to Alec Martinez, most likely saving his stuff. Chris Samard starting to put some pressure on him for the 3rd position. Here comes AJ Stravato back into the top 5. Remember, dominated the opening section of this race, and he is trying to put that pressure on Chris Samard for 4th, and Zach Carr right behind him. Got some of that damage repaired, and that car is looking pretty sporty right now.
It's really great racing going on between these top 5 drivers right now. We see a battle for the lead as Angelo is on the outside of Seth Hatchell. AJ Stravato has the 27 car underneath him, and we have the 9 car almost underneath the 18 car. Just great battles all along going right now, and really great racing between these drivers. They're keeping it clean, but very entertaining for us.
Yeah, Samard got a little bump from Stravato back out of turn 2. Now Stravato makes a move into turn 1 this lap. Here comes Zach Carr also trying to get underneath the Mac Tonight Camaro. And they are side-by-side drag race down the backstretch. Samard able to clear Zach Carr. Sends it off deep in the corner. That's going to cost him back on the backside of this turn. Here comes Zach with a good run out of 4. Still not close enough as Samard hangs on to the spot trying to block him off into turn 1. Sends it in deep there. Able to secure that position for the moment. AJ Stravato tracking down Seth Hatchell in front of them.
Chris Samard diving in very deep into turn 3 and gonna lose that grip off of turn 4 and possibly lose that position as the 27 car gets to the inside. Looks like he's gonna let the 27 car have it.
The Zach Carr up to 4th. Samard back to 5th. Alec Martinez trails both of them in the 6th position. And Alec, of course, as we know, saves his stuff. Was able to drive up. He took the lead earlier. He has led just 11 laps, but it seems like that car could have led a lot more than that. But he got mired all the way back 1 lap down and has recovered very nicely along with AJ Stravato. Got smoke. The 46 of Dallas Sullivan is around at the end of the backstretch. And I don't know what happened. He got involved with Jordan Shepler. As Jordan lost control, bounced it off the wall. Dallas nowhere to go. Hard into the inside barrier. No yellow for this. They both spin it out onto the apron. The leaders make their way past. And Dallas, bad luck striking again. He'll be in rough shape to finish this one out all the way back in 32nd. One driver we haven't talked too much about, that's Safe Ferris. And he is in 31st, 9 laps down. Has not had the luck this season. And really looking for things to turn around here tonight. Has not been the case after starting up in 13th, all the way back in 31st.
Big wiggle from the 27 car there. Great job to save it right there. He had some lap traffic to deal with and kind of got around them in an awkward angle and caused him to get a little loose. That's going to burn his stuff. Oh, almost contact with the 70 car from the 37. Didn't quite see him as the 27 car was blocking his view, but you would think with the way these guys are racing right now, there's only a couple laps left, but we still have over 50 laps left in this race.
Yeah, Lyle Sulfridge with the Davey Allison throwback, the 7-Up machine. A very simple paint scheme. He's had a rough race as well. 57 laps off the mark. And still trying to limp it around out here. Nick Starling the only driver behind him that would still potentially be able to get past him. But Nick is on pit road getting repairs, extensive repairs done to that race car. As Angelo Ronas, though, he's taken control of this race. He's now led 9 laps. 17 car has been pretty good all race long. He's just kind of been lurking. Here comes Seth Hatchell, going to try and challenge him back out of turn 4. Not quite close enough that time. Down into 1 and 2, though. The margin just 1 car length. 17 hanging on to it, extends it out of the backstretch. 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths now into turn 3, but Hatchell dives really low into the corner, closes that gap right up, and not too far back. That's AJ Stravato. That car's faded just a little bit behind this group, and Alec Martinez starting to put the pressure on Chris Samard behind him.
If we go a little further back in the field, we see some really good battling going on between 11th, 12th, and 13th right now. The 16 car of Nick Gardner just got by the 32 car of Garrett Wolfenbarger, but they've been racing very well, and it wasn't easy for that 16 car to get by right there.
Nick able to take the spot. Wolfenbarger now back to 12th. Reggie Ortega, who remember not too long ago had pretty serious front end damage. He is in 13th. Michael Newman, who started 37th, hides in 14th right now. One of the biggest movers in this race, if not the biggest mover. Between him and Jeremiah Vincent, Jeremiah up 24 positions, Michael up 23. Now he makes the move down to the inside of Wolfenbarger. Big wiggle, though, off turn 2 and trying to collect himself down into turn 3. Still within a car length. Not able to make the pass just yet. Up here at the front, though, 3-car battle for the race lead. Now 4 cars as Zach Carr closing in. And then Alec Martinez has gotten around Chris Samard. Samard holding off Jeremiah Vincent. This is a big gaggle of race cars. Got Ryan Gemmel, Josiah Vincent, Keith Mayato, and Bradley Wilson now a lap car up the racetrack. First car, now second car, 1 lap down. But Alex Pelican, who was just in front of him for a moment, is now on pit road. So first car, 1 lap down, is Bradley Wilson, who was leading this race not long ago. 50 laps left to complete as Angelo Ronas crosses the start-finish line, but he's starting to struggle, and AJ Stravato starting to close. Angelo could have burned his stuff up here. Got the same tires. Here goes AJ. Makes it look super easy out of turn 4. Going to drive right on by him. Down into turn 1. He is already gone by a few car lengths. Hatchell also going to complete the pass. He'll move to second. Angelo going to try and come back at him, though. Down the backstretch. Nose to tail. Peaks a little bit low. Backs out early. Seth Hatchell to second. Alec Martinez moves to 4th after clearing Zach Carr. The 18 car continues his march back towards the front. Now into a podium position. Less than 50 to go. It's not over yet. They may still have to make a pit stop.
And again, we see the 18 car of Alec Martinez just coming to life in the later half of the stage. And ever since the green flag, we've seen it before. He saves his tires and really kicks it into another gear that these drivers don't seem to have. And he's closing in on the 8 right now, going to try and make a pass on him, probably in a couple of laps, but he's been very quick. And if this race goes green, I think he's the favorite to win.
Definitely been very fast here on the long runs. AJ Stravato, who's now gotten the race lead back, he was good on the short runs in stage 1. But Alec was starting to close in on him before we got the first yellow of the race. Things got mixed up from there, but he's tracked him back down, and he's only 7/10 behind, and is starting to make some gains on the 8 machine. Like you said, that car who's got that damage, I think he's become a bit of a non-factor, unfortunately. think if that car was clean, he would have a much better shot at racing with those guys, but that car pretty beat up on all corners. As Dennis Steele got to stay on the apron, out of the way of the race leaders. Dennis having a rough night here. The NVIDIA dialed in racing machine back in 29th, 7 laps down. They're starting 26th, but still plucking along and trying to get out of here with at least a completed race, complete as many laps as he can. A battle back here, Chris Samard and Keith Mayato as well. That's the 21 of Alex Pelican, who's on fresh tires. So Alex Pelican 2 laps down, but on fresh Goodyears. He may be playing the strategy knowing that these guys can't make it as Bradley Wilson brings it on the pit road. So I'm not sure if some of these guys are realizing that they cannot make it to the end on fuel and they're stopping early, or if they're just off sequence. As Travato just a couple car lengths now in front of Seth Hatchell. That gap has closed up a bit. That's finding some speed on the long run. These two have dueled it out so many races here in this series over the last 2 seasons. And it looks like we're set up for potentially another one here. Alec Martinez seems to be losing a little bit of ground at the moment. Maybe he's saving some fuel. We go on board. Let's take a listen. Oh wow, just gets blown by the 21 car. I think Alec could be saving a little bit. He's really lifting early. Doesn't sound like he's using much in terms of brakes. Just letting it drive down into the corner and kind of coast through the turn. He could be saving a little bit of fuel. Seems he's picked up the pace now, though. He's closed up another 0.2 over the last couple of laps. And top 3 have broken away from Zach Carr by 1.5 seconds. Angelo Ronas back to 5th now. Could fall into the clutches of Ryan Gemmel, who's just a few tenths behind. But Keith Mayato now makes the move to his team, to the inside of his teammate. He'll move to the 6th position. Wouldn't be surprised if Keith was maybe saving some fuel on the front side of this run and now starting to come alive here. Less than 40 to go.
Now we see a pass happening for 2nd place as the 18 car of Alec Martinez gets down to the inside of the 8 of Seth Hatchell, and he's going to clear him as a lap car hits the wall in front of them. Good timing to get clear, as that could have been bad news for both of those drivers if they didn't settle it out beforehand.
Yeah, Eric,
you see that 51 car right there also just blowing by these 2 drivers with the fresh tires.
Yeah, that is Bradley Wilson 3 laps down, trying to get one of those back here. Some smoke in front of the leaders. I think that could have been from the 3 of Eric Lambert, who did tag the wall last time around. Bradley Wilson going to get one of those 3 laps back. You can see that speed difference. He was over 1 second faster than the leaders, and he pit just 6 laps ago. So that is the kind of differential you're looking at with those fresh tires. I don't think it would make sense unless you think you can't make it. It wouldn't make any sense to come in early at this point. You probably just want to wait as long as you possibly can and take as little fuel and as short a stop as you can. You lose so much time on pit road. Right now, AJ Stravato, Alec Martinez, Seth Hatchell, Keith Mayato is closing up. He's been the fastest car on the racetrack the last few laps. His margin now down at 2.7 seconds. It was over 3.5. But he is closing up on these top 3. See if he can get there in time. But laps are starting to wind down.
If these drivers don't have enough fuel, I think AJ might be pitting here soon, as the 18 car is just closing in on him very quickly. And as you see how much of a time difference there is between fresh tires and old tires. So if everyone does have to pit, pitting a little bit early, 1 or 2 laps beforehand, can really gain you a lot of time. And we want the leader to, as the 3 wide and the 18 car dives it down to the inside, but the 33 car manages to keep it in front. Great battling going on right there with lap cars involved. But as I was mentioning before, you really want to not be the last car to pit. And if Alec Martinez pits before that 33 car, he could really pull a big gap in front of him.
Yeah, I think at this point it seems like they're probably good on fuel with coming to 30 to go. I don't know why they wouldn't have pit already if they thought they couldn't make it. So if they think they're going to be close or just trying to stretch it as far as they possibly can, I guess we'll find out probably in the next 10 laps, as we do have, that is Dennis Fairclough coming to pit lane. Nick Alva is also on pit road. We see Joshua Abbey has brought it back down. Lane Sulfridge, or rather not Lane, Josiah Vincent onto pit road. And here goes the 33 of Servato to the inside of Timmy Emanuele, who rides 20th, 3 laps down. That is the kind of differential that we are looking at here. Josiah Vincent, yellow flag flies. That is the 12, I believe, Michael Newman. Jeremiah Vincent, not great timing for him. He's going to go at least 1, maybe 2 laps down. I think it was Michael Newman bringing out the yellow. Let's go take a look. Mark Beverly on fresh tires, going to go to his outside. Michael down low, sends it in really low into the corner, and then drifts up, catches Mark, who's had a miserable race, and that is what brings out the yellow right there. Just that that small crash in 3 and 4. That is going to change pretty much everything. We'll see if anyone has tires left, and if they do, they may be in the catbird seat here with under 30 laps to go. Like top 4 have all pit 3 times, but I'm assuming they only took tires 2 of those 3 times, so they should have 1 set left. So it should be a pretty even race. We'll see who stays out, if anyone stays out. Like AJ gonna lead him down nicely into his box. See who wins the battle off of pit road. Alec already off and away. Might win the battle. It's close. AJ Stravato at the line. Then Alec Martinez, Seth Hatchell, Keith Mayato, Zach Cart, Tony Baird, the lucky dog. That one, he's going to get back around these guys. He'll have to pit yet, but AJ Stravato been good on the short runs. He's led 71 laps so far. Going to be out front for the final, potentially final restart here tonight. We're going to go to a quick side-by-side commercial break. We will be right back.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying, to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
All right, and back at the racetrack now. On the one to go, it'll be less than 25 laps remaining. And it is going to be pretty much a straight-up duel here among the top four. We just found out Zach Carr, who's going to be lining up 5th for this restart, is on old tires. He's run out of tires, so strategy not going to work out for the 27 here tonight. And he's going to probably go backwards in a hurry, as the majority of cars around him will have those fresh tires. But AJ Stravato in control on this restart. He's going to have a tough competitor on the outside in Alec Martinez. Don't count out the V-Speed machines behind him. That's Seth Hatchell and Keith Maiato, but good restart for AJ. He gets out 2, 3 car lengths in hand before they even get down into turn number 1. Maiato going around off the nose of Ryan Gemmel. He saves it, but damage to the number 36 car right off the bat. Sure if teammates got together or something else caused that one, but quickly bringing out another yellow. That saves AJ potentially a few laps of battling with these guys behind him. Take a look at what happened here. Maiato in the outside groove. And just gets tagged by his teammate Ryan Gemmel. Sends him back around to get pointed in the right direction, but not before the yellow flag flies. I think maybe misjudged the braking point there for the 6 car. I'm not sure. Maybe he was trying to squeeze in underneath a gap. I think that's actually what Keith was trying to do. He was trying to drop down in line behind Seth, knowing that outside groove doesn't have a lot of grip. And Ryan was there. After Keith checked up early, just got into him. Sends the 36 around. Maiato brings it down pit lane. He's going to get damage repaired. Send him to the tail end of the lead lap. .39 seconds of repairs right there. He'll wait for the field to filter on past. He'll actually go 1 lap down, so he elects to get the damage fully repaired instead of getting it kind of piecemeal under the yellow flag.
Well, with how these restarts have been, he probably will get another caution before the end of this race, and if he's in the lucky dog position, maybe he'll have another chance to get back up front.
He'll have to make his way around the other 2 lap down machines in Garrett Wolfenbarger and Bradley Wilson. A couple of the Shenandoah Shine teammates. We do want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors of this series, of this league. Shenandoah Shine, Martin Sports, so many other great sponsors. REG Customs, of course, sponsoring tonight's race. Check them out. The information is in the description of the video. Have enjoyed tonight's race. In my opinion, been one of the most exciting races that we've broadcast here in a long time. can always follow us here on YouTube by subscribing, hitting the bell icon, staying up to date with what we're doing. You can also check us out at social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to see updates before we go live each and every week. And you can catch us here on Tuesday nights with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, and Wednesdays with the Virtual Racing League. That season wrapping up pretty soon. You won't want to miss the last few races, of which Zach here in the booth, he's part of those races, and it's a lot of fun watching you guys out there on Wednesdays. But huge field here on Tuesday nights, and this is, I think, the biggest one we've had since race number 1. And it has made for some incredible action.
Been a really great, nice race tonight, Adam, and we've seen a lot of good moves, a lot of clean moves, but also a lot of bumping tonight. And one driver I want to bring up is Jeremiah Vincent, the biggest mover of the race. He's up from 32nd to 7th tonight, and it just goes to show sometimes just biding your time and waiting to get up front can really benefit drivers. You don't have to always be so aggressive to make your way up front. And he has one of the cleanest cars out on the track right now. I really do not see any damage on it.
That car looking pretty good. At the throwback of the Jeff Gordon paint scheme that dominated in the All-Star event at Charlotte, and was outlawed immediately after. And looks like he's got something in there that's preventing damage, because I don't know how he's made it through without getting any. But definitely doing a good job here tonight, up so many positions, as he said. Waiting for the green flag, though. AJ Stravato gets us going. Green flag as he spins the tires, but drives away from Alec Martinez. Good launch for the 33. Battle now for 4th as Angelo Ronis will take that away from Ryan Gemmel. Jeremiah Vincent up to 6th behind him, and Zach Carr on those old tires trying to hang on for dear life, achieve a top 10 finish if he can. But it's going to be a tall order with those guys, fresh tires behind him. Travato, though, out in front, already a half second here, just a lap and a half into this run. Traffic working on by Zach Carr. He goes up the racetrack now, 12th, 13th, 14th positions just slipping away. Tony Baird next in line to take one from him. He is right there behind him. No nose on that race car as Mayato back down pit road. Continuing to pit farm that race car. So Zach Carr out of contention here. Did hear some sliding somewhere, but Ryan Gemmel loses a spot to Jeremiah Vincent. That's 5th position. Jeremiah driving forward.
I think the 18 car of Alec Martinez is trying to conserve his tires just a little bit, but that 17 car is going to dive down to the inside and get by him. And the 18 car are going to now have to pass another car in order to get past AJ for the lead. And I don't know how long he's going to be able to save tires for, as this race is coming to an end very shortly.
Yeah, he doesn't have much time to save more, but Angelo Ronis, he is closing up fast. He is now within 4 car lengths of the race leader, and we saw Angelo go up there and just drive into the race lead earlier. 16 laps led tonight. He's had the short run speed. It really cost him on the long run, but luckily for him, there's only 14 laps to go in this one. So can he use up everything he's got and get to the 33 before he wears it all out? We'll have to wait and see. He's closing, though, now 3.5 tenths. And Alec Martinez back 1 second behind the 33. Might just run out of time trying to get back to them. Seth Hatchell was under pressure from Jeremiah Vincent for a couple of laps there, but he's been able to hold him off and stay in that 4th position. Jeremiah in 5th, a few car lengths in front of Ryan Gemmel, and Gemmel with the nose damage definitely hurting him on this short run, and I think will continue to hurt him throughout the race. But how about Jeremy Miller? Made his way up to 7th. At one point was, I think, 2 laps down, and he's definitely got some good speed here at the close of this race. Next time by, 10 to go. Angelo Ronas, he's stalled out here now, about 4 tenths, 4 car lengths, whichever unit of measure you'd like. That's where he is, and he has not been able to close up any more than that, although good run through 3 and 4 that time. Maybe a car length close right up against the outside wall in the front stretch, really pushing that race car, but there's not much more to give, I think. They're closing up on the lap machine of Dallas Sullivan. A couple more lap cars in the distance. 10 laps remaining. Alec Martinez 1.5 seconds back. He is just fading fast here, and I don't think he's going to have time to make that all up. That's a lot of ground to close in less than 10 laps.
Yeah, maybe tonight the whole thing we've been seeing with him saving is just he doesn't have that short run speed. Sometimes these drivers do have short run and long run speed, but they have to sacrifice their short run speed. But we can see maybe just Alec not getting enough practice on the short runs tonight, and it's really taking a toll right now as we're closing in on these last couple of laps, and he can't close the gap between him and second place and first place.
Yeah, basically equal lap times among the top 3. They are the fastest cars on the racetrack. Hatchell about a tenth slower than them in the 4th position. But we'll see. He's going to have to really start making up some ground, as Angelo Ronas looks like he's starting to push in the center of the corner and hasn't been able to close up any more than this. AJ's been able to keep him at arm's length and just hold him back there. The dirty air probably playing a big role, as Alec Martinez now starts to pick up a little bit of time. He clicked off a 10th through turns 1 and 2. See what he can get here the next couple of laps, but he is going to have to drive the wheels off this thing. AJ Servato looking for his first win this season. Already the all-time wins leader here in the league, looking to extend that. After kind of a bittersweet ending to the season, finished 2nd in points after really being the dominant driver of the year. Came up short in the finale race. How about this though? Alec Martinez, he is just chopping off 10th after 10th now. 3 tenths faster last lap. He could get there at this kind of speed. He's right on the back bumper of the 17, and they have put a lap on Zach Carr. Unfortunate for him, that's not how his race really should have gone, as he's going to let these guys on by. 17, Angelo Ronas gets stuck behind him. 8 tenths now separating the top 2. Can Alec Martinez get there, or is he going to run out of time? Lap traffic a factor here as Alec works to the inside of Joshua Abbey. A couple more cars in front of him. That's the 11 of Jacob Houston, who could be in kind of a bad spot. Nope, he clears him. And the 15 of Mark Beverly going to be out of the way by the time he enters turn 3. The gap just about 6 tenths. And he is closing fast. Coming back to 2 to go. There's the race leader. This is Alec Martinez in 2nd. It could be a photo finish. Another 10th faster through that set of corners. Half a second. Coming back to the white flag, AJ Servato, all he's got to do is run a perfect lap. 3 tenths in front of Alec Martinez, who's closed the gap up from over 1.5 seconds. Out of turn number 2, he's only 3 car lengths behind. It might be too far though. Into turn number 3, Martinez dives it in deep. AJ Servato, a groove up, not so great. Out of turn 3 though, here comes Alec looking to the outside, not gonna get there. AJ Servato wins at Rockingham. What an incredible race, and what a drive by Alec to almost get there. Needed about 2 more laps, I think. But either way, a great show from him, as always. And AJ Servato, all-time wins leader, former champion, gets back to victory lane for the first time this season. Leads almost half the race en route to victory. A great drive there by AJ. So the 33.99 to end up P1. Let's go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the top 3 finishers of tonight's race.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, there's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
Back at the racetrack now. We're going to talk with our third place finisher first. Here. Angelo Ronis, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you, man.
Well, Angelo, you had some great short run speed out there. It almost paid off for you, putting the pressure on AJ in those closing laps. Come away here after starting in ninth. You get a nice solid podium finish, 16 laps. Give us a rundown of your race.
Yeah, race I would say is definitely chaotic from just driving through the field and avoiding wrecks. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge, but it was definitely fun. Well, especially near the end. But I don't think I had anything for AJ even when I was creeping up. His long run speed was just a bit better than mine. And of course, Alex, a few more laps and it would have been his. But overall, I'd say it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys sliding around the high track temps here tonight. Was there anything, any key to getting around this place with the track the way it was tonight?
I felt like arcing it into the corners benefited me more, getting that speed off. But you were able to make moves on the outside, but it just depends on how well you manage your tires. But yeah, guess this track and the racing, it just suits my style and just ended up P3.
Yeah, we've got a track that is kind of similar in a way. Another old school style racing track in Darlington coming up next week. How do you feel about going out there?
feel like Darlington's one of my better tracks, just the way it drives, kind of like Rockingham. But yeah, I have good feeling going into that, and not saying I'm going to contend for a win or anything, but kind of like tonight, just hoping to get a podium out of it.
Awesome, Angelo. Well, great drive here tonight. Started ninth, finished third. You lead 16 laps and put on a good show for us here at Rockingham. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
First, I want to give a shout out to my teammate Zach Hart, because not only being a teammate, but he was able to paint my MBNA scheme tonight, and it looked pretty good. But also, AJ, Reggie, Jeremy, Alec, even though he's not a teammate in this league, he is in another, but shout out to him as well, and everyone else.
Awesome, Angelo. Well, we will catch you next week at Darlington.
All right, thank you.
Second place finisher, Angelo Jonas. Let's go to second place, Alec Martinez. Booth now. Zach, I believe you're with him.
Hey, Alec, this is Zach up in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy with me?
I do, Zach.
Alex, Zach in the V-Speed booth. Do you have a copy with me?
Yeah, I got you.
Zach,
You got me?
I think
You got
Zach
me?
may be having some communication problems. I have you, Alec.
All right.
Well, I'll ask the questions then. Start 11th here, and we saw you move up and down throughout the field. You were a lap down at one point, and man, on the long runs, looked like you were the car to beat. You wish you went a little bit sooner there at the end of this race to try and chase down AJ?
One lap would have been great. Just one or two laps would have been nice. I don't know. I think I could have pushed it maybe one lap before. I got to Angelo with like 2 or 3 to go, so was hoping that was going to be enough, and just a corner too short. But man, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that race. But man, dang, just one more lap would have been really nice, and just just so close, but yet so far. But man, that was a really fun race. Getting lapped, but you had to say those tire sets. I think me, AJ, got the same tire set in that first stage, and AJ got lapped, and I passed him, and I got the lucky dog. But other than that, man, it was just an uphill climb, and then getting to the front, and I just needed that long run at the end. If I would have got that long run, I would have been, it would have been really nice to have that long run. But just looked too close. But just one more lap would have been nice. But man, for this to be my first start, getting a second would it's nice, and hopefully keep this momentum going on in the season.
Yeah, I was going to say, on your debut, a second place finish, and obviously we know how good you are from the Xfinity cars and also in VRL. You're a force to be reckoned with no matter what league, what car, what track. You're always up there contending for the race win. We're going to Darlington next week. Kind of similar in how you drive it, and it's bumpy and old, and you're all over the place for a lot of the time. But how do you feel about going out there?
Yeah, I don't know. What track is it again?
Darlington.
Oh, nice. That should be fun. I really like Darlington, so it's one of my more favorite tracks to actually race on, and hopefully we can keep that momentum and get one more spot up there. But I love Darlington. Such a fun track, especially with these Cup cars. But gonna have to keep it out of the wall for the entire race, pretty much. These aero-sensitive cars, and with the fenders being so, sensitive and fragile. But that next week should be fun. I wish the throwback race was there, but we'll see if we can get something going for next week at Darlington, and just hoping to keep that momentum up from this week. And 2 seconds. I wish we could have been 2 first this week in both series, but nevertheless, can't complain about top 3 and good points.
Yeah, and a great way to kick off your start to the league here. And we look forward to seeing what you can do next week. But tonight, you start 11th. You finish runner-up after leading 11 laps and giving us an incredible show there in the last few, trying to chase down AJ. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to for the runner-up?
Yeah, everybody watching, my family watching, is a new league, so barely getting into this and getting to know all the guys here, and everybody watching, and then you doing the broadcast, Adam, and it was Zach helping you, and then all league admins here. It's just, this league's awesome, and I love it, and the racing's fun, and just everything about this league is awesome, and I'm glad that they were able to accept me today to do this race, and shout out to them for just letting me be able to even compete in this series, even though the season's already began. So just thank you to them. Thank you to everybody watching. You do the broadcast, family watching, and we're going to try to go get them at Darlington.
Yes, sir, and we're looking forward to seeing if you can follow this up with maybe a victory next week. Great run here tonight, Alec, and catch you then.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Adam.
All right, runner-up tonight, Alec Martinez in his debut, but winning tonight's race, that is going to be AJ Stravato as we pull him into the booth. AJ, Adam in the V-Speed booth, you got me.
Yes, sir.
Well, AJ, you had to hold off Alec there, those closing laps. You were probably feeling like it was Jaws coming for you, and you held him off. Not much room to spare, but you end up taking home the checkered flag. Give us a rundown of tonight's race.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I was 201 or 202 laps, I would have been having a block like a you know what. But yeah, that was I knew Alec was saving tires behind me, but I couldn't really save tires the way I wanted to with the gap I had built at the beginning of the run, which I wanted to do because I saw Angelo just flying, and I'm like, well, I got to push now. And I had a good enough gap to where he started falling off, but then Alex started coming a tenth or two a lap, and I just pretty much had to hope I hit my marks. And I didn't hit my marks a couple of times, but we brought home a win. But that was an eventful race. I'll tell you what, man, we were, I think, short a tire set from kind of putting us where how strategy worked in a little box, but we went a lap down because I thought staying out was going to be good. We were going to have an extra set of tires. Maybe there's going to be a caution. Definitely didn't work out that way. We went a lap down. There was a caution in front of me where I would have been the lucky dog, but unfortunately, I think Jeremiah got in the back of me on accident. At the time, I wasn't happy because I thought that was going to be pretty much it, and we were going to be stuck a lap down. But luckily, we got our way back and just had to drive my rear end off to get up through there. I'll tell you what, that was not easy at all with just different tire strategies, different speeds, and how everything worked out, man. I don't know how we ended up getting back up front, but I guess that's a little bit to driving and to just how everything worked out. But definitely glad to bring home a win. This is one of my favorite tracks personally because it's just there's so much character to it. It takes a lot of talent, I think, to get around here. So just glad we can execute and capitalize and get a win, and to beat Alec and a couple other really good guys here is a good feeling. So hopefully we can do that again.
Yeah, you lead 99 laps. It probably didn't feel like you led that many because I think
No.
the other 101 you were a lap down. But man, what a drive tonight, and you're back on top here in below the double yellow, the all-time wins leader. You extend it by another one here. We do go to Darlington next week, which kind of races similarly to this. But how do you feel about going?
I would tell you what, man, I'm looking forward to Darlington. I know there's a couple of my teammates and Alec and a couple other guys are really quick there and really do a good job saving tires. So if I'm going to win again and repeat, I definitely got my work cut out for me. I think every week is going to be a big challenge. There's a lot of talent in this league this season, and it's already talent filled as it was. So, each win is, in my opinion, more and more meaningful. So, I'm always hungry to win. Some people don't like that, but I love winning, and hopefully we can keep on doing that again.
Sir, and you're pretty good at doing that. Ended up taking the victory here tonight after starting on the pole and leading 99 laps on the way there. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just obviously you, Adam, and Zach. I know he's not in here, but you guys do a hell of a job broadcasting every race. It's a pleasure to watch these back and race, put on a show for you guys. Shoulda Know Us Shine, Race Motorsports, Outlaw Desert Racing, Dowden Racing, and pretty much all the league admins and all my teammates. League admins, I'm sure, me a little bit earlier weren't happy because I wasn't happy with the tire sets, but it all worked out, I guess, and just the competitive nature of everything. I appreciate all they do, and definitely looking forward to the next race.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to it as well, seeing if you can go back to back and get up there and challenge that 27 for the points lead so far. Congrats again, and catch you next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, man.
AJ Stravato back in victory lane here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. A car very similar to what ended up in victory lane Sunday at Watkins Glen. Maybe no coincidence there, but either way, a fantastic race, and we don't have Zach back in the booth. I believe we had some audio issues. I want to thank Zach for joining me to fun with him. So let's go through the rest of the results before we head on out for the night. So 8 total cautions, 14 lead changes, and AJ Stravato able to hold off a hard-charging Alec Martinez by just a 10th at the line. Angelo Ronas with a podium finish here tonight, Seth Hatchell in 4th, and Jeremiah Vincent rounding out the top 5. Good runs for all of those drivers. Ryan Gemmel ends up in 6th. Jeremy Miller finishes 7th. Nick Gardner, a really strong finish in 8th. 9th was Alan Dice. Rounding out the top 10 was Chris Samard. 11th, it was Josiah Vincent. 12th, Michael Newman. 13th was Reggie Ortega. 14th was Tony Baird. 15th, Alex Pelican. 16th was Zach Carr. First car 1 lap down. Garrett Wolfenbarger finishes in 17th. Bradley Wilson 18th. Joey Mines 19th. 71 machine of Lane Sulfridge rounding out the top 20. 21st was Jacob Houston. 22nd, Mark Beverly. 23rd, Timmy Emanuele. 24th, Keith Mayato. 25th, Brett Sommers. 26th, Dennis Fairclough. 27th, Nick Alves. 28th, Dennis Steele. 29th, Safe Ferris. Rounding out the top 30 was Joshua Abbey. 31st, it was Jordan Shepworth. 32nd, Dallas Sullivan. 33rd, Eric Lambert. 34th was Lyle Sulfridge. 35th, Zach Smith. 36th, Nick Starling. 37th, Anthony Pelican. 38th, James Loveland. 39th, Cody Adkins. In 40th, it was Clint Leatherwood. Rounding out the field in 41st was Robert Happy Gilmore to wrap up our 41 car field tonight from Rockingham Speedway. What a fun race tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday at Darlington here with this series. Next Wednesday as well with the Virtual Racing League as we kick off round 2 of the playoffs. Won't want to miss either of those races. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, of course, consider following or subscribing right here on YouTube. Really appreciate that. And you can check us out at all these different social media outlets. Also, don't forget to vote on your favorite throwback scheme. The link is in the chat or in the description below the video. Check us out. Check it out down there and vote for your favorites. You can vote up for up to 3 cars, and whoever wins gets $10. So go give your opinion. If you like some of these cars out on the track, of course, make your opinion known to help these guys out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll catch you next week.